Hey, now wait, we're going to sleep now. Hey, after.
Hello and welcome to the Beacons Broadcasting Network for an exhilarating and exciting matchup between the UMass Boston Beacons and the Christopher Newport Captains. All the drama of intercollegiate volleyball is up next, right after this break. Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I am John Skudris, excited to bring you what should be a thrilling matchup between the Beacons and the visiting captains of CNU in this UMass Boston's opener here in the Beacon Invitational. For UMass Boston, an 0-4 start shall not deter them from their ultimate goal, that is growing around a young team stabilized by talented and consistent veterans. Freshmen like Eileen Shee and Haley Diedrich have shown great poise during this early season run. Meanwhile, upperclassmen Elizabeth Glavin and Colleen Cohen continue to lead Terry Condon's club to heights that they hope are unrivaled. Their visitors from the South bring with them a plethora of experience. Their pilgrimage from the Old Dominion state may not have been a long one, but their 5-0 record speaks for itself. Brianna Sutton and Michelle McCann lead the way for a captain squad with their eyes set on a spectacular season. Now let's take a look at how these two teams have fared so far in this campaign, as we look on the year at both the Beacons and the visiting captains who won their opener against the College of St. Benedict just moments ago. UMass Boston at 1-4 on the season, obviously dwarfed in the statistical categories, and you take a look at the captains on your right. Their kills per set, 14.6, astronomical. Their hitting percentage, just over 1/3 of their hits are successful. And of course, they dwarf the Beacons in every statistical category with the exception of aces per set, where the Beacons are even up with them at 2 apiece. As for the leaders on these two clubs, well, there's a lot of them. They're very talented teams on both ends of this volleyball court. And if you take a look at the Beacons, they're led by a freshman in kills, Eileen Shee, a youngster hailing from all the way out in San Francisco, California, standing at 5'9". She leads the way with 45 kills. Meanwhile, for the Beacons, Pepper Baker, 111 assists and 10 aces. She continues to thrive as she gets older and more experienced. Pepper, of course, a junior from Tallahassee, Florida. A player to watch, Elizabeth Glavin. We'll get to her in a moment, but before we do that, let's take a look at the team leaders for the visiting captains. Of course, I mentioned Brianna Sutton leads the way in kills. Leading in service aces, Ashley Rock with 9. She's just behind Pepper Baker in that category. There is Elizabeth Glavin, the aforementioned star for the UMass Boston Beacons, number 14 in black, a junior from Edina, Minnesota, and she has been absolutely spectacular over the course of her career. A 2-time LEC Defensive Player of the Year, the AVCA Honorable Mention All-American in 2014, and the program's record holder for digs in a season. Keep an eye on her all evening long. She is an aggressive attacker on defense and does a tremendous job as this team's libero and defensive specialist. We take a look at the coaches for these two teams. The University of Massachusetts Boston, led by Terry Condon in his 11th season. Terry, of course, a AVCA Hall of Fame inductee, 211 victories, just 87 losses. With UMass Boston, the overall record, though, is staggering. 410 and 235 as you take a look at Terry. She is a spectacular coach, a veteran coach, coaching a young team, and she has her hands full for the 1-4 Beacons as they get set to take on the 6-0 captains led by Lindsay Birch. Lindsay on the season, of course, she's tutoring a undefeated club from Newport News, Virginia. We'll get a look at her mentionables in a moment. Before Lindsay Birch is shown on there. Lindsay, of course, a spectacular veteran coach as well. There she is, 13 seasons, 11 NCAA tournament appearances, which speaks for itself. 11 out of 13, that is an outstanding percentage. Her overall record, 378 and 96, and in the CAC, an astronomical 155 and 8. That is numbers that even Don Shula, the legendary coach of the Miami Dolphins, who went 17-0 back in 1972, would be impressed with. Before we get this exciting match started, we take a look at the all-time series matchup between these two foes. Of course, both of these teams haven't played each other all that often. The captains hailing from down in Newport News, Virginia, playing in a different conference. But UMass Boston has had their success against Lindsay Birch and the captains, 4-2 all-time. The last captain's win was 3-0 in sets at CNU back in September of 2012. However, the last time these two teams met was just a year ago, October 15th of 2014. UMass Boston with a 3-1 triumph. Julia Murphy, who you'll see tonight, 15 kills, 2 blocks for the towering star for UMass Boston, and she'll look to mimic that performance a year later as the Beacons look for an upset against the 6-0 visitors from Newport News, Virginia. Let's take a look at the starting lineups as we continue along here on the pregame show. The starters first for for the captains of Newport News, Virginia, as we are going to nix the starting lineups now, as I'm getting word from Carl Boss, our director, that we're going to continue along on the pregame show. But first, we're going to go to a break here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. When we come back, we will get a look at those starting lineups, both for the captains and the Beacons. They're getting started here in the fall sports season in UMass Boston, and we're just getting started here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I'm John Skudras, bringing you all the action between the Beacons and the captains. It's the Beacons Invitational right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
My name's Allie Greenberg. I'm an ice hockey player here. I'm a junior majoring in human services, and I'm part of the Key for Hope Foundation. We recycle the keys and stock food pantries with the money. I wanted to bring this foundation to the athletic department, and I believe we can end hunger starting at UMass Boston. I got started with the Key for Hope Foundation due to my father. He's the one who founded this program.
I said, what can I do with a classroom environment giving back? And everybody's got an old key, and keys are made of brass, and brass is a recyclable commodity. And thinking about how many children are in a school system and how far we can go with taking this to do something right for humanity, I started a foundation called Key for Hope, feeding others with the collecting of keys. In 2.5 years, we collected over 500,000 keys. And I'm excited about this whole opportunity because, you know what? One key may not seem like much to most people, but when you collect the masses of keys that we've collected, it shows that there is an ability for people to get together and create what I'm considering our hunger fighting opportunity.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
My name's Allie Greenberg. I'm an ice hockey player here. I'm a junior majoring in human services, and I'm part of the Key for Hope Foundation. We recycle the keys and stock food pantries with the money. I wanted to bring this foundation to the athletic department, and I believe we can end hunger starting at UMass Boston. I got started with the Key for Hope Foundation due to my father. He's the one who founded this program.
I said, what can I do with a classroom environment giving back? And everybody's got an old key, and keys are made of brass, and brass is a recyclable commodity. and thinking about how many children are in a school system and how far we can go with taking this to do something right for humanity, I started a foundation called Key for Hope, feeding others with the collecting of keys. In 2.5 years, we collected over 500,000 keys. And I'm excited about this whole opportunity because you know what? One key may not seem like much to most people, but when you collect the masses of keys that we've collected, it shows that there is an ability for people to get together and create what I'm considering our hunger fighting opportunity.
Welcome back to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I'm John Scudris. Apologize for the difficulties last segment, but as they say, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And of course, Terry Condon and the UMass Boston Beacons hope that is true. A 1-4 start on the season. The visitors from Newport News, Virginia, Christopher Newport University, 6-0 on this campaign. They hope that cliche does not ring true in 2015-16 as they've started out absolutely perfectly. We'll take a look at those UMass Boston Beacons starters as the Beacons, led by Terry Condon, who we showed before, a veteran coach and a great one, a very good record over the course of her illustrious career for UMass Boston. Of course, led, as I mentioned earlier, by some spirited young freshmen as they continue what has been a glorious last decade for the Beacons as we take a look at the Beacons starting lineup. We won't get it on the screen at the moment, but I'll read them out to you. Colleen Cohen, a junior from Centerville, Mass, starts, as well as number 4, Bree Souza. She's a senior, one of the few upperclassmen, in fact, the only senior on this Beacons lineup, a native of Swansea, a local girl, as she continues and hopes to end her illustrious career on a high note in 2015-16. Also joining her in the starting lineup for Terry Condon's club, Eileen Shee, a freshman who leads the team in kills. They'll be joined out there by Haley Diedrich, another freshman. Julia Murphy, a junior who we mentioned earlier, has been spectacular over the course of her career. And Pepper Baker. Keep an eye on the libero and the player to watch, number 14, Elizabeth Glavin. For the visitors from CNU, this is a team that's 6-0, coming off a victory earlier today right here on the campus of UMass Boston here in Boston, Massachusetts. They will show up with Brianna Sutton, of course, a spectacular offensive player as an outside hitter, leads the team in kills this year. Number 7 hails from Williamsburg, Virginia. She'll be joined by the setter Rachel Conway from Fairfax, Virginia, the tallest player in this lineup at 6 feet tall. Also in the starting lineup, number 10, Hannah Miller at 5'11". The junior hails from Palmyra, Virginia. Also joining them, the team's leader in service aces, a service specialist, Ashley Rock at 5'11". The senior is from Arlington, Virginia. Rounding out the starting lineup, number 6, Evelyn Harper, defensive specialist at 5'6" from Richmond. Number 14, Abby McIntyre, an outside hitter at 5'9" from Hillsborough, Virginia. And the defensive specialist, the libero, Rachel Close, at 5'3". She's the most diminutive player on this visiting CNU club, but what she doesn't have in height, she doesn't lack in heart. She brings it all every game, much like our player to watch, Elizabeth Glavin. And as you see on your screen, the UMass Boston Beacons, who are the only team in this tournament who have not yet played a game in the tournament, so this will be their first of the afternoon. They'll have to warm up extra tough here as they take on an undefeated captain's team from Christopher Newport, who's coming off a victory earlier today, just moments ago, on the opposite end of the court, where Eastern will get set to play in just a few minutes. So as we get set here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network, of course, we recap what has been a spectacular series of events over the course of the last few years, not only for the Beacons on the court and on the field and on the ice, but also for the Beacons Broadcasting Network. We have grown exponentially. We have seen a lot of tremendous things happen, a lot of technological advancements, and a lot of great support from not only our director, Carl Pass, but the rest of our fine young folks up here who continue to do great work helping us out to bring this broadcast to you, all the parents, family, and friends of these athletes, and of course around the Boston area, and of course tonight perhaps around the Newport News area as well for those who are listening to our broadcast down there. We're just about a minute away from getting this thing underway as UMass Boston will look to improve on what has been a tough start to the campaign. 1-4, however, they have not yet played here at Clark Athletic Center Gym as they sound the alarm here to get this thing underway. 1 minute to go as UMass Boston, of course, comes out with that lineup that I mentioned. Before we do continue on and get this show on the road. We're going to go to one more quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the captains and the Beacons UMass Boston Volleyball action right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
So as both of these two clubs line up to get this match underway, we again want to remind you, you are watching and listening to the Beacons Broadcasting Network here from Boston, Massachusetts, bringing you all of the Beacons athletics here in 2015-16, both men's and women's soccer, of course, as well as volleyball, hockey, men and women's, and of course the spring sports as well, basketball. It's going to be an exciting campaign, and after, of course, last year was as great as it can be, we're excited for more here in 2015-16, and we're certainly excited to have you along for the ride. You see Elizabeth Glavin, the player to watch, the only Beacon not wearing black right now. She's the libero in orange. Meanwhile, for the opposition from CNU, you see their libero dressed out in white, as it'll be number 16, Rachel Close. Just about set for the first service of this evening's affair. Got started a little bit later than they anticipated. It was originally tabbed for a 7 o'clock start. Instead, we're starting at 8 o'clock. So an hour delay, but nonetheless, it was a good delay for CNU as they beat St. Benedict earlier this evening. And now, of course, after about a half an hour rest, have an opportunity to go 2-0 here in the beginning of the Beacon Invitational. UMass Boston will get the first service, and it'll be their service specialist, Pepper Baker. Pepper, of course, leads the way for UMass Boston with 10 aces, and she'll get one right there as UMass Boston begins on a high note. An ace on the opening serve for Pepper Baker, her team leading 11th here in 2015. It's 1-0 UMass Boston here in set number 1. Baker will try to do it all over again as she serves this one. Dug out of the ground, set up on a pass, and a quick spike on the opposite end, but dug out there on a fine play made by Diedrich, the freshman. And UMass Boston is out in front 2-0, as unable to handle that one was Rachel Conway, number 1, standing tall at 6 feet tall. So the Beacons serving twice, scoring twice. They lead 2-0 on kills, as here comes another opportunity for Pepper. Served right back to the libero, Glavin. A set opportunity for a spike, and she pounds it in. Who else? The team's best kill specialist, Eileen Shee, a freshman from San Francisco. And she hails from the Golden Coast, and so far she has been a golden prospect for Terry Condon and the Beacons. 3-0. Service from Baker as the Beacons look for more, and they get it. It's 4-0 UMass Boston here in set number 1. And I think we're beginning to see where some of the fatigue may set in as Bree Souza will get that one. Of course, CNU just played a 5-set match as they triumphed over the College of St. Benedict in 5 just about 30 minutes ago. Off of Baker's serve, the volley going back and forth, and a good spike there as CNU answers back. Hannah Miller, a 5'11 junior from Palmyra, a alma mater of Fluvanna County High, as she gets the first point on the board for the visiting CNU captains. Off the service there, the Beacons looking for an action back, and they deliver. The Beacons strike back, going up 5-1. That's Souza again, as she continues to specialize in kills for UMass Boston here in 2015. So now she will get her first opportunity to serve, as Eileen will serve this one over, dug out by number 14, Abby McIntyre. Quick spike attempt, and what a block by the Beacons duo! A fantastic play by Souza and Diedrich, and UMass Boston is game to play, looking great here in their home opener, and the opener here for them in the Beacon Invitational. 6-1 here in set number 1 as UMass Boston sees an error there on the service by Shee. She's a specialist up front, and she's decent also at service as she has 7 aces this year. However, that will be her 14th error, leading the way through 5.5 matches. Here's a quick dig out by Glavin. She'll try to get this one on the second opportunity, but no rest for the weary for Glavin is not enough, as number 7, Brianna Sutton, gets the kill. No shot there. Brianna on the season leads the way for the visitors and is one of the top kill specialists in the country. Meanwhile, a quick opportunity for Glavin. She sets it up. Baker looking for a spike attempt and a great block by the visitors. That was a good play by Rock as she continues to play well here in 2015. And great play by the visitors from CNU as the captains lead the way, getting their 4th point here in the afternoon, as that one was set in by Conway, a defensive specialist who now will serve. Conway for Diedrich. Diedrich sets it up, and it looks like the point will go to the visitors as CNU looks to even this one up with another point. It's 6-5, and service here for Rachel Conway on the near side. We're in set number 1 here of the opener for the Beacons in the Beacon Invitational, as the quick spike attempt is unsuccessful. Good block by CNU. Another spike chance, and Glavin digs it out off the second chance, and this one served up softly, but nothing there for the Beacons, and that will be out of bounds, and UMass Boston will get credit on that one. An opportunity for CNU, but the error on the spike will result in the 7th point of the afternoon. It's 7-5 UMass Boston, as Glavin will serve for the first time. The libero in orange gets it over, dug out there on a nice play by McIntyre. Set up for a spike attempt and a great block by UMass Boston. The spike attempt there from Sutton, who leads the team in kills. But right there, UMass Boston did a good job. Unfortunately, it did go out of bounds, and so the point does go to the visitors from CNU. It's 7-6. UMB leads here in set number 1. First to 25 as this one is dug out there by Glavin on the serve. As a quick chance for Julia, she's unable to get it down. Good dig out there by Rachel Conway. Meanwhile, Pepper Baker sets it up for Murphy, and this one is going to go to Murphy as she gets the credit for the kill there. Good job from UMass Boston as teamwork prevails as they continue to show that despite their 1-4 record, they are a force to be reckoned with here in 2015-16. Substitution for the Beacons, the freshman from Berlin Center, Ohio, Rachel Maslak, will step in. She'll be serving here for the Beacons, number 5 in black on your screen. As Maslak's service is dug out there on a fine play by Maddie Wickens, also just entering the game for the captains. Opportunity for Pepper Baker, but a little too much mustard on that one as it sails out, and the credit goes on the point to CNU. Another substitution for the captains as entering the game here is Hannah Miller. The junior from Palmyra re-enters. She stepped out for just a moment. Now an opportunity for the Beacons. Shot attempt is dug out there by CNU. Coming back the other way and dug out by She on an opportunity for number 12, Maddie McCann. But unfortunately for the Beacons, that one will go to CNU. It's 8-all here in set number 1, an even matchup through 16. As the service is dug out there. Good play made by Haley Diedrich. Coming back for Baker and a spike attempt. Great play off the block for the Beacons and Glavin as UMass Boston gets it up and over the net. An opportunity coming back the other way as Maddie McCann gets it down. Unable to dig that one out from her knees is Glavin. She's a digging specialist, but unfortunately she just didn't have enough to get down there. And meanwhile, taking their first lead of the afternoon here in set 1 are the visiting captains. And that will go by the wayside quickly as Murphy answers back. Julia is somebody to really keep an eye on. Leads the Beacons in height at 6 feet tall, the junior from Canton, Massachusetts. She's a spectacular athlete, also pretty good photographer from what I hear, as UMass Boston has evened this one up at 9. Here's Eileen She with an opportunity. Good effort on the block by CNU, but a better effort by She as she gets this one back over with the help of Rachel Maslak. And unfortunately for UMass Boston, Glavin's unable to get that hard spike, and it will be 10-9 visitors here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Service here comes from Eliza Fisher, sophomore from Fairfax, number 19 in blue. As Fisher just barely gets that one over the net, it skimmed the top as this one to the right of the antenna is dug out there on a fine play made by Rachel Close, and that fine play by the libero in white results in a point for the visitors and a timeout for UMass Boston. So the Beacons started strong here in the opener of the Beacon Invitational for them. However, things have turned the opposite way as the pendulum swings. It's 11-9 right now, CNU out in front, and the 6-0 captains have shown why they're undefeated and why they're coming off a victory over the College of St. Benedict just an hour ago. Very good defensive team, but also a team with some excellent attackers up front. Brianna Sutton, of course, the aforementioned junior from Williamsburg, leads the team in kills. Maddie McCann second on the team out of Matthews, Virginia. Right now the service will come back to number 19, Eliza Fisher. She's out there along with Maddie Wickens, Rachel Close, Rachel Conway, and Hannah Miller and Maddie McCann. And that service is unsuccessful as that one sails up and over. Beacons will get the point on that one on the service error by Fisher, and she'll take a seat after that error. To some high fives from her supportive teammates. The Beacons will get the serve here. It is Julia Murphy. Murphy's got power on this service, and she shows it. Dug out there, served up for number 6, Evelyn Harper, back in the game. Dug out and sent back to Murphy. Quick setup and spike, and UMass Boston executes teamwork perfectly. Bree Souza will get credit for that one, although she had a lot of help from Pepper Baker, who set her up, as well as Haley Diedrich, who is always here in her freshman campaign around the action. So Murphy will try to do it all over again, now tied up at 11. Set up for a spike attempt, but a good block sets it up for Murphy. Murphy passing for the set. Pepper Baker looking to serve it over, but unfortunately couldn't get enough on that. She'll go for the block, but Pepper unable to sky above the net, and that will result in a point for the visitors, and credit that one to Maddie McCann. Maddie McCann out of Matthews, Virginia, and Matthews High School has continued to grow under the tutelage of Lindsay Birch and her assistant coaches Corey Harris and Krista Hughes. Meanwhile, we'll get a look at a seniors, Abby McIntyre with service as she sends this one over. Dug out there by Diedrich and set up for a spike from She, and she delivers again. Irene She leads the team in kills. Tack one more on as we're evened up at 12 here in set number 1. Beacons get service back, and it's their best service specialist as Pepper Baker will have an opportunity. Pepper serves this one over, dug out there on a fine play by Rock as this one is coming back the Beacons' way. Baker looks to set up a spike attempt. Fine block, but the Beacons will get credit nonetheless. A fine play made by Colleen Cohen. I mentioned her in the opener. She didn't start this match, but she's certainly been impactful all season long through 5 matches, and she'll look to continue that as a reserve this evening. Pepper Baker sees the Beacons take the lead. She'll look for another ace. She began this match with an ace. Nothing there as the Beacons will see Clavens keep that one up for Baker as it comes up over for the visiting captains for a spike attempt, and really no hope at all for UMass Boston. Hannah Miller had a wide open lane right up the gut as the Beacons see the visitors re-even this one up at lucky number 13. Service here from close. Rachel gets it over. Dug out there by Diedrich. Quick spike attempt from She is dug out there on a fine play by the CNU. And UMass Boston will get credit for that one as this one went just over the net. And she will continue her spectacular evening and spectacular season nonetheless. A freshman sensation. A diaper dandy, if you will, to Paige Dick Vitale. A great block attempt for UMass Boston, but just not enough on that one for Souza. As give credit where credit is due, that was a howitzer cannon from Ashley Rock. As the team's leader in service aces shows she can spike the ball as well. As she gets credit for the kill there, and we're evened up at 14. Service from Conway's dug out by Diedrich. She'll try to do 2 for the price of 1 on the spike attempt, and with a little help of the basketball net, it's dug out there and set up for close. An opportunity to set up and a whistle as we will get an error on UMass Boston. And so service heads back towards CNU. They have a 15-14 lead now after that one. And service here from Conway is successful. Glavin dug it out, set it up for Baker. Baker to Diedrich, who sends this one over with a hard overhand right-handed slam. Unfortunately for the Beacons, Glavin, well, she would have had to have been 6'4" to get that one as it's pounded over the net and in for a kill by number 14 in blue. Abby McIntyre, the senior from Hillsborough, continues to play well this evening at 16-14. Off of the service there by Conway. Beacons send it back over. Served up underhand for a spike attempt and a successful one. Fantastic spike by who else? Brianna Sutton. As she was set up beautifully by a behind-the-back underhand set by Ashley Rock. And we'll get another timeout on the court. UMass Boston, who started this one off 5-1, has seen the pendulum swing. It's 17-14, the visitors lead from CNU. I mentioned CNU from Newport News, Virginia, the home of many a great athlete, Michael Vick, Allen Iverson, to name a few. Two of the best multi-sport athletes right there. Not a lot of people realize Allen Iverson, a native of Newport News, began as a spectacular football player and a quarterback in Newport News in high school. Many believe he could have been a D1A star and perhaps an NFL player if he in fact went that route. But I think he chose the right direction. Hall of Fame basketball player for the Philadelphia 76ers, Denver Nuggets, and Detroit Pistons, among others. So as CNU gets back on the court, it looks like it'll be Conway with service. She's out there joined by her motley crew of characters, Rachel Close, Abby McIntyre, Brianna Sutton, Ashley Rock, and of course, Maddie McCann. UMass Boston counters with Shee, Cohen, Glavin, Diedrich, Souza, and Baker as they get credit on a service error there on Conway. And the Beacons see it revolt back to 17-15 here in the first set. Of course, they played to 25 every set here in collegiate volleyball as the service by Glavin is set up for a spike attempt. Oh, instead McCann fools him out with a soft touch there, but the Beacons sniffed it out, and she is pounding it home, but unfortunately a good dig there by Conway, and then a great play there by CNU, as sending that one home was Eliza Fisher as she delivers. It's 18-15. Substitution for CNU as entering the game here is number 8, Maddie Wickens, a defensive specialist. 5'4" junior gets a chance to serve to begin this opportunity, and Glavin digs it out, but right out of bounds, and it's a spectacular ace there for the visitors from CNU, as Maddie Wickens will get another opportunity off her first serve of the game. Doesn't get any better than that. It's 19-15 Captains, as Wickens' service is dug out by Shee. She sets up Baker, who let that one go over the net to be served back, and the Beacons see Murphy, soft touch, unfortunately dug out there by Close. Opportunity, and dug out, but blocked the other way off the spike attempt by McCann. She's got great strength on the spike, but the Beacons dig it out and block it and send it back. That was number 16, Colleen Cohen, who takes a seat after a great block there. She'll be replaced by Christina Elliott, a freshman from Camas, Washington, at Camas High School, who will make her debut this evening. And she is beginning her evening with service as she sends this one over, dug out there, and a good play by Close. Set up for a spike attempt from McCann, but the Beacons block it. Unfortunately, it's a double touch for UMass Boston. And it's 19-16 right now for UMB. Excuse me, they just changed the scoreboard to 20-16. A little delay there on the scorer's table. 5 kills away are the visitors from CNU from winning this opening set, as the Beacons will look to stave off that set defeat as UMass Boston sees Diedrich go down to try to get that one. Good effort, but UMass Boston can't dig it out, and it's now 21-16, a 5-score deficit. Service here comes from Ashley Rock. She leads the team in aces. Instead, she blunders there. A service error for Rock. As looking more like a pebble on that one. It's 21-17. Beacons back in this one. Freshman Haley Diedrich gets set. The Canton, Michigan native will serve this one back towards CNU. Chance for a spike attempt. Serve right back at her noggin of Eliza Fisher. What a play for Eileen Shee as she serves notice. The freshmen rise again for UMass Boston. It's 21-18 as the native of San Francisco strikes gold. Unfortunately, Diedrich can't strike gold there as her service results in an error, and now Fisher will get an opportunity to redeem herself for the punishment she just took. Number 19 in blue, right in front of you, to the bottom right of your screen. Fisher gets this one over, dug out by Diedrich. Set up for the Beacons. Quick spike from Murphy. And the howitzer cannon from 6 in black has delivered 22-19 now as the Beacons narrow this deficit here in set number 1. Julia Murphy, what a powerful spike that was. She'll get an opportunity to show her power in the service corner as she gets set for the serve. And she does deliver a powerful one as it's dug out there, and a good play by Wickens, and a spike attempt, and what a play. What a play by Hannah Miller as she spikes that one through the defense. It's 23-19, blue over black. Of course, you're watching the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I'm John Skudras as UMass Boston trails 22-19. That's not going to help. What a serve, and she just wags her hand nonchalantly. That's 14, Abby McIntyre, as she delivers the 24th point, and a set point coming up here for the visitors from CNU. They won the opener in 5 sets. They look to get the opener here as the Beacons see Pepper Baker serve it over. It's dug out by Close. Set up for a spike attempt. Miller delivers, but this one is dug out, and a good play by Diedrich. Back and forth they go. She delivers as the Beacons see the referees determine here. Let's see what the umps decide. UMass Boston, both teams are jockeying for this one, and it looks like they'll give it to the Beacons. So hope springs eternal, and the Beacons stay alive in set number 1. It's 24-20 as Pepper Baker, their best service player, will step into the corner. She sends it over. UMass Boston sees it dug out by Diedrich, and the Beacons are called on an error, and that will result in this first set going to the visitors from CNU. So the Beacons gave it a good effort. They got out in front 5-1, but unfortunately were unable to come out, falling 25-20 here in set number 1. We're going to go to a quick break here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. When we come back, we'll look around the schedule as well, take a look around Beaconville and get highlights of an exciting first set. Beacons lose the first set. It's 1-0. CNU on top here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
My name's Allie Greenberg. I'm an ice hockey player here. I'm a junior, majoring in human services, and I'm part of the Key for Hope Foundation. We recycle the keys and stock food pantries with the money. I wanted to bring this foundation to the athletic department, and I believe we can end hunger starting at UMass Boston. I got started with the Key for Hope Foundation due to my father. He's the one who founded this program.
I said, what can I do with a classroom environment giving back? And everybody's got an old key, and keys are made of brass, and brass is a recyclable commodity. And thinking about how many children are in a school system and how far we can go with taking this to do something right for humanity, I started a foundation called Key for Hope, feeding others with the collecting of keys. In 2.5 years, we collected over 500,000 keys. And I'm excited about this whole opportunity because you know what? One key may not seem like much to most people, but when you collect the masses of keys that we collected, shows that many people get together.
So the Beacons fall 25-20 in the opening set as we take a look at the schedule up ahead for UMass Boston, and this volleyball team starting out 1-4, looking for more here in 2015 as they see Eastern University play earlier today. Endicott College and Eastern Connecticut State coming up later on here in September. We take a look around Beaconville for UMass Boston's athletic clubs. The soccer teams, of course, getting their season underway earlier on this month. They are some very exciting clubs for UMass Boston, both men and women. Men's soccer leads Plymouth State 2-1 at halftime so far this evening. Women's soccer leading Keene State as they beat the Owls through 1/2, 1-0. And tennis beat Worcester State 6-3. Good for them as the visitors from the women's and men's tennis team delivers yet again. Let's take a look at some first half highlights, or first set highlights, I should say, as they get set for the second set. Ready to serve, as Eileen will serve this one over, dug out by number 14, Abby McIntyre. Quick spike attempt! I tell you what, it's because of the hour delay that they're trying to get this show on the road, so we won't have time to show you the first set highlights. Hopefully, we'll have time for the second set, as it's Eliza Fisher with the serve here, as the Beacons will now play on the near side. We'll get a better look at UMass Boston's club as they will fall behind here early 1-0 after the set there by Abby McIntyre. It's McIntyre out there along with Hannah Miller, number 7, Brianna Sutton, number 1, Rachel Conway, as this one is sent down and in front of Conway. As UMass Boston showing their poise on that one, but unable to get credit for the point. It's 2-0. Service from McIntyre is set up by Baker, and it almost handcuffed Souza, but she's able to get enough of it. Coming back the other way and out of bounds, as that one should go to UMass Boston and does, as right in front of Pepper Baker, it trickled just to the right of that out of bounds line, and UMass Boston's on the board here in set number 2. It's 2-1. It'll be Eileen Shee as she will serve here, and the Beacons will, on that one, get a good service, and they'll get a point out of it as the pounding home spike attempt by Brianna Sutton is unsuccessful, right into the face of the net. It's 2-2 here in set number 2 as deuces are wild here in Beaconville. Eileen Shee will serve this one, and that's an error on 11 in black as she just put a little bit too much oomph into that one, sending it way out of bounds to the left of the court, almost taking out the CNU bench with it. Here's Rachel Close on the service for the visiting Captains as it's set up for a spike attempt from Diedrich. Dug out by Close, who tumbles over her head. Meanwhile, it comes back the other way for Glavin to set up. Baker for Souza, and a good dig by Close. And UMass Boston will get credit on that one. Good defense there for the Beacons. Play made by Colleen Cohen. It's 3-3. So here's Glavin in orange to deliver the service in a 3-3 tie here in set 2. Set 1 was won 25-20 by CNU as they retake the advantage on a spike there by Brianna Sutton. It's 4-3, ladies in blue. Service here from Conway as she sets this one up. Glavin digs it out, but UMass Boston's going to have no hope as Baker got turned around. Her back was to the play, and it was an easy effort by Rock to just tip that one back over the net and give CNU a 5-3 advantage. Again, you are watching the Beacons Broadcasting Network production of the Beacon Invitational as UMass Boston will get no help on that one from the refs as it looked like a good play, but just out of bounds. It's 6-3 as a good effort by Murphy. Unfortunately, UMass Boston unable to get that one. Glavin sets up on the dig, set for Murphy, who's got a great spike, and she shows why. Celebration on the Beacons' end of the court. It's 6-4 as they get credit for the kill on the spike by Julia Murphy. Beacons back in the service corner. That will be number 5, Rachel Maslak, as she re-enters the game. The freshman from Ohio, and the Buckeye State sends it back over, dug out there, and a chance for a spike and a great block for the Beacons, set up by Pepper Baker. Murphy got the block. Diedrich looking for more, kept in by Close, set up for a spike attempt for CNU, but the Beacons block that one as a good effort from UMass Boston won't result in a point, but still, good effort by Julia Murphy and the Beacons. It's 7-4 now, CNU. Opportunity on the service from Maddie Wickens. As Wickens sends it back towards UMass Boston, Close digs it out, and here's an opportunity for a very talented player in Maddie McCann, second on the team in kills, but she's dug out by Murphy. Coming back towards McCann, she sends it back to the Beacons' end for Shee. Set up, Souza, Pepper Baker spike, and she cannot deliver as it comes out of bounds, and doubling up the Beacons now, 8-4 are the Captains. Stay tuned after the second set, folks. We'll have highlights of this exciting match. Speaking of exciting, Julia Murphy, great effort there as she pounds that one into the court here, but unfortunately just out of bounds. It's 9-4 CNU. And I tell you, you haven't gotten a chance to see CNU. They play down there in Newport News, but they are really living up to their record as Murphy lives up to her talent right there, delivering on a soft overhand jab as she puts it down between the defense. 9-5 UMass Boston trails. And an opportunity for Diedrich to serve. Dug out by Close, set up there by Conway, and an opportunity, and who else? Digging that one out, a fine play made by Maslak. I was going to say who else, Maddie McCann, but not so. As a great block by UMass Boston on the spike by McCann, sets it up for Baker, sent right back towards her. Good pick out there by Maslak. Baker sends it back over as Pepper is into the action. getting peppered by shots. Here's Murphy, set up for Shee. Quick spike, delivers! UMass Boston! And a great effort by the Beacons team as a whole as they really got into the action on the volley there and trail now 9-6 here in set number 2. So 9-6 Beacons trail. Diedrich with the serve, and there's an error on UMass Boston. So momentum goes back the other way, as does service, as taking this one will be the team's leader in service aces, Ashley Rock. Ashley sets this one up. She looking to dig it out, sets one up by way of Maslak for the Beacons' powerful spike specialist and kill specialist Murphy, but unfortunately the Beacons can't get anything going as they really got in their own way there off of a good block attempt by Maddie McCann. Another opportunity here for Ashley Rock, who will try to rock the boat here and get the CNU captains back home as this one is won by UMass Boston. Good effort there by Glavin and Maslak. Elizabeth will now take a seat. She'll be replaced out there by Souza. It's Souza, Diedrich, Maslak, Baker, Shee, and the service specialist right here is aforementioned Julia Murphy as the Beacons dig this one out. Opportunity for UMass Boston to get something going, but they're going to called here on an error, and the point will go to CNU. Julia Murphy will get a chance to catch her breath. She's replaced just like that by Glavin. It's 12-7. Visitors out in front. UMass Boston's Glavin digs it out. Set up for Diedrich, who with the quick spike attempt cannot get it down. Dug out there by Wickens. Back towards Glavin. Digs it out. Set up for Pepper Baker. And a good play by Wickens to dig out a spike attempt by number 2 in black. Pepper up for a block attempt. Glavin keeps it alive. Souza to Glavin. Shee, but too many touches. Now it may have hit the ground, in fact, according to the officials here. And we'll have a timeout, UMass Boston, as they trail by a score of 13-7. So an exciting affair between these two clubs as we're going to take a replay of the last series of events as we take a look at our first replay this evening between these two clubs. Visitors out in front. This was a great effort for UMass Boston. Set up for Diedrich. You see Diedrich setting it up. Attempt. Cannot get it down. Dug out there by Wickens. Back towards Glavin. Digs it out. Set up for Pepper Baker. And a good play by Wickens to dig out a spike attempt by number 2 in black. Pepper up for a block attempt. Glavin keeps it alive. Souza to Glavin. Shee. 25 seconds left in this timeout. UMass Boston, of course, you just saw a very good effort there for the Beacons. They trailed 13-7 here in set number 2, 25-20 overall. Of course, UMass Boston will have plenty of action tomorrow. They'll have an opportunity to redeem themselves if they go down today. We'll have an opportunity to redeem ourselves tomorrow as well, with 2 matches, one beginning at noon, one beginning at 6 p.m. as that one is out of bounds off the spike attempt by Glavin, and UMass Boston falls behind as they're doubled up 14-7. I mentioned those matches tomorrow, noon and 6 p.m. Plenty of time in between to get your Saturday shopping or house cleaning out of the way between Beacons broadcasts as this one set up for a spike from Shee, and what an effort on the block as celebrating is number 10, Hannah Miller, as she was joined up front by Rachel Conway. Good effort by Glavin, but she could not dig that one towards Shee. It's 15-7 CNU. Service here will come from Fisher. The sophomore from Fairfax gets it toward Glavin. Dug out, set up here for Shee as a kill specialist. Kills again. Call her an assassin as she continues to deliver kills here in set number 2. It's 15-8. UMass Boston trails, and their best service specialist, Pepper Baker, will step in. Number 2 in black on your screen. Pepper, a junior from Tallahassee, as she sends this one towards close. Dug out. Conway by way of Maddie McCann, but blocked by the Beacons as the duo of Shee and Souza, the Killeresses, get a point for UMass Boston. It's 15-9. This thing's not over yet. CNU, the longer they play into this match, the more time they'll get. They just played 5 sets just moments ago against the visitors from Minnesota, as the Beacons unfortunately don't see much action there as they do get credit on the point. It's 15-9 to 10. Here's Pepper Baker on service, dug out there by Wickens. By way of Evelyn Harper, here comes a great opportunity for McCann, and she delivers again in front of the Beacons libero, that is Elizabeth Glavin. It's 16 to 10. CNU out in front. Christopher Newport, hailing from Newport News, Virginia, making the trek up here for the Beacons Invitational, as this one served up in the air by Diedrich. Set opportunity for the spike attempt for the Beacons. And a good play there by Colleen Cohen. She gets the Beacons on the board. And the service will come from Eileen Shee. She, one of two California natives on UMass Boston's roster, as this one is sent back for McCann, but the Beacons block it as Souza is special up front, as the defense of UMass Boston here in the second half of set number 2 continues to excel. I mentioned she, the other California native, freshman Samantha Weiner. We haven't mentioned her name yet today, as this one is set up for number 1, Conway. Conway serves a great block from Souza, as the tree in front of the net, towering above all else, sends it back from whence it came, and it's 16-13 CNU. What a play from Souza off the attempt there by Abby McIntyre. Dug out there, Conway looking for her teammate number 7, Brianna Sutton, and that one will result in another kill for number 7 in blue. 17-13, CNU out in front. Rachel Close will serve here. And Close sends it to be dug out by Shee. Set up for a spike from Souza, dug out there on a good play by McCann. Coming back the other way, out of bounds off the tip attempt by number 7, Brianna Sutton. And credit for the point will go to UMass Boston. Julia Murphy re-enters the game, getting a well-deserved rest is Bree Souza. She was spectacular defensively on that last couple of sets, as UMass Boston will see Glavin serve, dug out there by Fisher, back towards the far end antenna as it's dug out by number 14, Abby McIntyre. She sends it towards Glavin, dug out by number 14, and UMass Boston keeps the volley going. Good block attempt by Murphy will result in nothing, as a good play to keep this one alive by number 7, Brianna Sutton. Set up by Baker, spike attempt, UMass Boston out of bounds off the chance from Colleen Cohen. So there's been a lot of exciting volleys here for both of these teams. That one right there was one of the longest of the match. It's 18-14 CNU. Opportunity there for Cohen, and it will result in UMass Boston getting that 15th point. I'm not sure. It might be 18-16. The official scoreboard says 18-15, but they have been wrong before. Service from Maslak in black as she sends this one to the far end of the court, dug out by McIntyre. Almost a block attempt there from Murphy, but she was fooled by a little bit of a misdirection play from Brianna Sutton. She expected a spike. It came in soft, and it's 19-15 CNU. When you think about it here, the Beacons have kept this one relatively close despite the record disparity and the youth on UMass Boston. Maddie Wickens on the service as she re-enters the game. Set up for Murphy. Soft attempt over the net is dug out. McCann to Murphy. Murphy spike, and that is a successful effort over the defense for Julia Murphy as she gets her second kill of the set, and it's 19-16. Diedrich takes a seat. She'll be spelled here by Christina Elliott. Her second effort here on the court, here in set number 2. Beacons trail 1-0 here in games, as dug out here on the far end by Close. Sent back over by Rock as the Beacons see Murphy send it back. Comes back towards UMass Boston's way, and out of bounds. UMass Boston gets credit on that one. Eliza Fisher sent it too far to the near side. And another opportunity for Elliott to serve, trailing now by just 2. Christina with the service, dug out by Close, sets up Conway. Conway for McCann, dug out by Glavin. Glavin, almost an error there for the Beacons, but it gets over to Fisher on the far end. set up for a spike attempt, dug out well by Elliott. Elliott for Shee, soft effort on the spike from Shee, and she sends that one home, and the Beacons are narrowing this deficit, and a timeout CNU. 19-18 as CNU has seen their once gargantuan lead dwarf to 1 as UMass Boston trails by just 1 kill. It's 19-18, and of course, if you're just joining us, this is a matchup between the 6-0 Christopher Newport University captains, hailing from Newport News, Virginia, and the 1-4 UMass Boston Beacons from right here in the great city of Boston, Massachusetts. This tournament sees teams from Minnesota, Pennsylvania, and Virginia head up here to Massachusetts as UMass Boston hosts this invitational every year. Of course, much of the sports attention in this town nowadays focused on football, but there's plenty of great volleyball action to go the rest of the weekend. As Elliott will serve for the Beacons, trailing by just 1. Unfortunately, an error there for number 8 in black, and the momentum shifts the other way yet again as it's 20-18. Stay tuned after the second set. We'll get you the highlights of this exciting match. Right now it's 1-0 in sets for the visitors from Newport News. Service attempt is dug out by Diedrich, and a great spike! What a slam home from Shee as she delivers. No pun intended, it's 20-19. UMass Boston still trailing. Service coming from Julia Murphy as Murphy delivers this one over, dug out by Wickens, and Maddie McCann who sends this one back towards Murphy, dug out and set up for Shee. Great effort on the soft spike, but unfortunately nothing there. As the Beacons play good defense, who else? Bree Souza delivers and has tied this one up at 20. A little late effort here in set number 2 as Murphy will come back and look to keep the momentum going as the fans start to get on their feet to the left of Julia Murphy. Murphy's service, almost a collision between McCann and Wicken. Great block from Souza on a spike attempt. Another good block dug out there. UMass Boston sees Maslak set up Shee, and UMass Boston, as that one comes out of bounds, will take their first lead of the set. It's 21-20. Beacons out in front. And I tell you what, this team's getting better as the evening goes on. And I did kind of predict that earlier on in this set because of the fact CNU just played 5 sets before this one. Here's Murphy again, looking to make the third time the charm as her third consecutive service results in another point for UMass Boston. Bree Souza, the player of the game so far, a defensive whiz. As she delivers again, it's 22-20 on the block, right back in the face of number 1, Rachel Conway. Murphy with her 4th consecutive serve. The Beacons trailed 20-18. They now lead 21-20 as that one will swing the pendulum the other way, and it hasn't been a great day so far for Eliza Fisher, but she has been picking it up as the set goes on. A great spike there for 19 in blue. It's 22-21. Fisher, fresh off her great kill, will get a chance to deliver an ace. Unfortunately for her, it's dug out by Diedrich. Ooh, over the outstretched arms of Souza on the spike attempt, and she was unable to keep that one alive, and we are evened up yet again, and a timeout for UMass Boston as Terry Condon would like to speak things over with her team. So as this second set winds down, it's 22-22. Beacons fell 25-20 in the opening set. Here, of course, the opener for them in this Beacon Invitational. They'll get a chance to play 2 tomorrow right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. The first one begins at noon, in fact, just before noon with the pregame show. Beacons take on the College of St. Benedict and Eastern University tomorrow. A couple of great matches those will be, separated by a couple of hours to get your Saturday errands done. Fisher will look to make it deja vu all over again. A fine spike after a fine kill for 19 in blue. This match is tied 22-22 here in set number 2. There's the service dug out by Diedrich. Kept alive by Maslak. Baker looking to send it over on the third hit. It comes back on a block attempt. Souza waits as this one comes back for a spike attempt blocked by Souza, and Souza couldn't get that one over, and unfortunately the Beacons who led 22-20 moments ago, now trail 23-22. So after Julia Murphy had 3 consecutive points on serves, it will instead swing the pendulum towards Fisher, who's looking for her 4th straight, and instead it's an error on Eliza Fisher, her 2nd of the afternoon, and we're evened up yet again at 23-23. And who else would you rather have serving in a tied set? 23-23, Pepper Baker, the team's leader in service aces. She began this match with a service ace. Got the Beacons out in front 1-0 in set number 1. This one won't be an ace. It's dug out by Close. Conway sets up Maddie McCann, but it's dug out. Coming back the other way, McIntyre out in front. She sends it back for Close. Set up for Conway. Here's McCann, done, and she delivers as she sends that one right in front of Elizabeth Glavin. Unfortunately for Glavin, she can't cover the entire court herself there as she didn't get much help out in front. And now a chance for a set point here, 24-23. The Beacons led 23-21, and now an opportunity to end this one here in set 2. Baker sets up, chance, pounded in there by Cohen. Unfortunately for the Beacons, unable to get down. That one will, though, as it comes out of bounds, and UMass Boston evens it up as the fans are excited on the near side corner. It's 24-24. Eileen Shee with an opportunity in a tied set as she sends this one over and out. So it's, of course, win by 2 once you get towards the end of the set. UMass Boston now trails 25-24, and a chance for a set point here for Rachel Close. Dug out by Diedrich. Set up as an opportunity for UMass Boston answers. Colleen Cohen sends this one on a spike right between both Conway and Close, and we're even yet again at 25. I tell you what, CNU, they had a long match before this. It's only going to get longer the longer this match goes. Opportunity to take the advantage for CNU, but the Beacons looking for more, and they'll get it as an opportunity goes awry for Rachel Conway. Beacons have a set opportunity and a set point here as Glavin will serve up 26-25. And a timeout, a much needed one for CNU, as I think Lindsay Birch wants to just give her team a rest. Those last two, or rather the last series of events have been rather tiring. Beacons led this set 22-20. Storming back to take a 23-22 lead, and then a 25-24 lead with CNU, and now the Beacons lead 26-25 as a dawn of eerie quietness sets over the crowd here as we are set for what will be a very exciting final few points of this match. Beacons hope there's only one more point as they lead 26-25 here in set 2. Stay tuned following the set. We'll have the highlights of this set, which of course has been full of them, rife with action. How could it not be? 26-25. It'll be Glavin, a jack of all trades, number 14 in orange, the libero for UMass Boston. Mike Houlihan shouting his inspiration to the team from the sideline. And here's Glavin set for a chance to win the set. As UMass Boston digs it out, Baker, too much effort there. They're going to have rockets in their sneakers to get to that one, as Baker sent that one towards center court of this basketball arena. And unfortunately for the Beacons, we're evened up yet again at 26. This is the set that wouldn't end, and it'll continue with Rachel Conway on service, dug out by Shee, set up for Baker, and just put over the net by Baker, I believe. It didn't look like Cohen got a piece of that one. As from the players looking at each other in high five, you can tell they got lucky, but you'd rather be lucky and good than lucky and bad, and the Beacons lead 27-26 with an opportunity to win the set. Here's Rachel Maslak fresh into the game. Number 5 in black serves towards the far end, dug out by McIntyre, set up for a spike attempt, is unsuccessful, sent back by Baker. Here's Diedrich, and the Beacons win the set 28-26. UMass Boston strikes again, coming back from down 25-24 to win this set number 2, 28-26, as the Beacons deliver an awe-inspiring performance. We're going to have highlights of set number 2 when we come back, but first, let's go to a break right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school. But every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
My name's Allie Greenberg. I'm an ice hockey player here. I'm a junior, majoring in human services, and I'm part of the Key for Hope Foundation. We recycle the keys and stock food pantries with the money. I wanted to bring this foundation to the athletic department, and I believe we can end hunger starting at UMass Boston. I got started with the Key for Hope Foundation due to my father. He's the one who founded this program.
I said, what can I do with a classroom environment giving back? And everybody's got an old key, and keys are made of brass, and brass is a recyclable commodity. And thinking about how many children are in a school system and how far we can go with taking this to do something right for humanity, I started a foundation called Key for Hope, feeding others with the collecting of keys. In 2.5 years,
Newport News, but they... Welcome back to UMass Boston. The Beacons have evened this matchup at a set apiece as they take set number 2 by the final score of 28-26, coming back from behind midway through. Let's take a look at highlights of set number 2 as UMass Boston evens this matchup. Close, set up there by Conway, and an opportunity, and who else? Digging that one out, a fine play made by Maslak. I was going to say who else, Maddie McCann, but not so. Has a great block by UMass Boston on the spike by McCann. Sets it up for Baker, sent right back towards her. Good pick out there by Maslak. Baker sends it back over as Pepper is into the action. Getting peppered by shots. Here's Murphy, set up for She. Quick spike, delivers! UMass Boston. Visitors out in front. UMass Boston's Glavin digs it out. Set up for Diedrich, who with the quick spike attempt cannot get it down. Dug out there by Wickens. Back towards Glavin. Digs it out. Set up for Pepper Baker. And a good play by Wickens to dig out a spike attempt by number 2 in black. Pepper up for a block attempt. Glavin keeps it alive. Souza to Glavin. She. Welcome back to live action. I'm John Skudras here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. UMass Boston and the Christopher Newport captains evened up at 1 set apiece as we get set for set number 3. The two teams have switched sides. Newport on the near end as the captains are right in front of you on your screen. Meanwhile, the Beacons shift to the far end where they lost set number 1. Beacons will have the opening service as they'll have Pepper Baker out there. Pepper came into the evening with 10 service aces. She improved that by 1 on the opening serve. She's now got 11 to lead the team, and she'll look to make it 12 here to begin set number 3. Baker serves it over as this one's delivered back on a dig attempt, set up for a spike there, and it's sent right back from whence it came off the spike from Sutton. The team leader in kills for CNU is getting killed out there as both Souza and She deliver on the block. 1-0 UMass Boston. So the Beacons get out in front for the second time in 3 sets as Baker serves towards McIntyre, dug out for a spike, or rather a soft serve over the net there by Sutton, but the Beacons are unable to get control of that one. It's 1-1 as Sutton gets credit for the kill. Rachel Close, number 16 in white, the libero, as she sends that one in. What an ace from Rachel Close. She came close to sending that one out of bounds, but Rachel delivers on a service ace to give CNU a 2-1 lead. Rachel almost got 2 consecutive aces, dug out by Glavin, sent for McIntyre, sets it up, and an opportunity for the team's leader in kills, Brianna Sutton, but the Beacons dig it out. That was Diedrich. Diedrich back towards the near end. That's the CNU captains as McCann will send that one towards Glavin. Baker to Glavin to She. That one's in for UMass Boston. 2-2, evened up here in set number 3 as She gets another kill. And now she'll head back for service. No substitutions so far here in set 3 as She will send it over and under the net. In fact, right off the top of the netting, and that results in an error and a point for CNU. It's 3-2. Rachel Conway will toe the service corner. She'll send this one towards Glavin. Glavin keeps it alive, set up by Baker, and a pounding spike attempt is successful for Cohen as she gets the kill and a 3-3 draw through just a few moments here in set number 3. Glaven's service, and the Beacons continue to excel on the service angle of this game as they take the advantage 4-3. Glaven, really a spectacular athlete on the volleyball court, can do everything defensively and offensively. Without her, I fear for where the Beacons would be, being such an inexperienced team, although their youth has certainly excelled. Speaking of excellence, how about Julia Murphy as she steps in front of that one to block it right in front of the visiting offensive attackers for the visitors from CNU. It's 5-3 UMass Boston. The outside hitters for CNU haven't had a lot of action as Close digs this one out. Set up, opportunity to the far end for Baker. Baker to Glaven, set up, and a spike attempt from Diedrich's dugout. Good play by McIntyre, and now Sutton sees her effort result in a point as that block attempt from Murphy sails out of bounds. It's 5-4. Beacons still out in front, but by a whisker. Maddie Wickens will head into the service corner as she'll deliver here, number 8 in blue. Of course, now they're adjusting the antenna on the far end as the officials continue to mind over this match as Wickens will be set and she'll serve, and that's tough for the Beacons as that one hit the basketball net that's curled up into a position high above the court. Opportunity on a spike and a great play by UMass Boston as that spike attempt unfortunately doesn't result in any points, but UMass Boston with a good effort there as the Beacons see Maddie Wickens serve again. Dug out by She, good effort sliding to her knees. And Diedrich with a powerful spike, dug out by Close. Opportunity for McIntyre the other way as the Beacons see volleying coming back towards Close. Close to Conway, set up for a spike from Fisher, and Eliza is fantastic on that one. It's 6-5 as CNU retakes the lead. Maddie Wickens on the service, her third consecutive as she continues to excel. There's a pounding spike there by Cohen, but dug out by Close. Cohen on the set for She. Baker instead takes this one. Glaven has to send it over. Dug out by Close, and a good block from Murphy, and the Beacons will get credit. So UMass Boston back on the action as they'll get credit for, it looked like the umpire first signaled UMass Boston, and now they will in fact signal point to the visitors from CNU. So it's 7-5. Tough break for UMass Boston. Murphy must have gone over the net, and instead it'll get maybe a makeup there as Wickens' fourth consecutive service attempt is unsuccessful. 7-6. All's fair, love, war, and volleyball. There's an opportunity now for the service by Rachel Maslak. Sends it towards McIntyre, dug out. Coming back the other way on a spike attempt was Rock. She was unable to get it over the trees, and that one's a great spike by Fisher. She's getting better as the evening wears on. It's 8-6 CNU. Now Ashley Rock, the team's leader in aces, will send this one. Unfortunately for them, nothing there. Pepper Baker with a good spike attempt, dug out there. Rock got that one to McIntyre, and UMass Boston will see that one sail out of bounds, but it was tipped off the Beacons' hand of Eileen She, and a point for the visiting captains. It's 9-6. Timeout UMass Boston. Terry Condon wants to discuss things with her team. So the Beacons saw an early lead here in set 3 dwindle. They now trail 9-6 through 15 points, and of course, they go up to 25 unless it's separated by 1, as we saw in set number 2, where the Beacons triumphed 28-26. It's evened up at 1 through 2 sets here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Over on the far end, you can't see it, but St. Benedict and Eastern are dueling. Both those teams played earlier. If you have any opportunity to tune into our broadcast tomorrow, you'll see both those teams as the Beacons take on Eastern and St. Benedict right here from Clark Athletic Center Gym. So here's Ashley Rock as they reconvene after the timeout. 15 in blue. Serves to the far side, dug out by Glaven. Glaven sees Diedrich, Send it back for Murphy. Unfortunately, that one was a powerful blast out of bounds, just to the far end of the court. It's 10-6 CNU. UMass Boston not catching the breaks here in set 3. As Rock will send it to the far end. Here's Murphy again. Spike is blocked on a good play made there by Miller. Chance for Diedrich, blocked but kept ahead and alive by Rock. Here is Eliza Fisher, but it's blocked partially by Baker. Set up by Shee for a chance for Murphy. Then the volley continues, kept alive for a spike attempt and a good one, as that one was pounded in by the junior from Palmyra, Virginia, Hannah Miller. It's 11-6 CNU. Here's the Arlington native, Ashley Rock, another service attempt, her 4th consecutive, as the points continue to pile up. Pepper Baker's spike attempt is blocked by Fisher, but it does come out of bounds, and UMass Boston finally gets on the board after a long scoring drought. It's now 11-7, Beacons trailing here in set 3. Back into this one is Christina Elliott. She had a spirited set of serves in the second set that I think really swung the momentum towards the Beacons en route to winning. Unfortunately on this one, a fantastic spike from Miller results in the 12th point of the set, and CNU continue to exalt their excellence on UMass Boston as barking out signals as their head coach Lindsey Birch. Service for Fisher has 19 in blue. Just to the right of your screen, we'll send this one towards Glavin. Glavin digs this one out. Set. Chance for a spike from Baker, but keeping this one alive is CNU. And a good block from Baker as this one gets the Beacons back on the board. It's 12-8. That one coming in the face of McIntyre, who had an opportunity for the spike. Beacons get the service yet again. It's Julia Murphy on the far end, junior from Canton. Beacons have two athletes from Canton, although not from the same state, as the Canton, Massachusetts native serves that one, resulting in an error in the 13th point of the set for the visiting captains. And the freshman from Canton, Michigan, Haley Diedrich, has been very spectacular all season long. Speaking of spectacular freshmen, Aline Shee keeps that one alive for Pepper Baker, and UMass Boston back on the board as they send that one in. It's 13-9. Credit the kill to Baker, as she'll head back for another chance at the service corner, where she excels above all else. 13-9 as Baker sends this one towards the near end, and that one, little luck for UMass Boston as it'll hit the right antenna. Beacons leading the way on this last two sets. Last two serves. Unfortunately, they trail in the set 13-10. So plenty of time after they came back from behind in set 2 to win. And that one results in a UMass Boston ace, as that's the 12th ace of the season for Pepper Baker, as she's peppering shots and peppering aces throughout every single set of this match. It's now 13-11 here in set 3. Baker looking for more, just barely gets that one over the net. And a great block for UMass Boston, as that was Souza out in front, along with Cohen. Another chance for Souza, just not enough on that one to handle the howitzer of a blast on the spike from Sutton. And what else is new? Brianna gets another kill, extending her league-leading total as she continues to excel in 2015. It's 14-11 as Rachel Close will step back to take this one. The Matthews, Virginia native, serves it to the far end for Diedrich, kept alive and sent to the near end, where Close will take Rock's spike and send it for a powerful blast from Sutton, but Glavin, who tried to dig that one out underhand, was unable to get low enough to keep it in bounds, and it is now 15-11 CNU. So here's Rachel Close, who continues to excel in all facets of the game. Baker had a good setup there for Souza. Unfortunately, even better there was Sutton, as she sends this one far into the Beacon zone. Souza couldn't get there. Credit the kill to number 15, Ashley Rock, and it's 16-11 as the visitors extend their lead. And we will get a timeout as Terry Condon wants a moment to speak with her club. It's 16-11, Beacons trailing right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. So right now, as we recap this match, the Beacons fell behind in this match after losing the first set, 25-20. They rebounded in set number 2, coming back from down 25-24 to win set 2, 28-26. And now here in set 3, they trail by 5 yet again, 16-11. Keep in mind, it's the first to 3 sets, so we will have at least 4, regardless of what happens here in set number 3 after the Beacons triumphed in the second set. Here's close yet again as we reconvene, dug out by Shi. Pepper setting up Souza, but it will be a point for the visiting CNU captains, as right out in front of the action was Ashley Rock. Souza out there along with Cohen, Diedrich, Glavin, Shi, and Pepper Baker, as unfortunately the Beacons are getting outgunned here, as putting this one down right in front of Bree Souza was Rachel Conway. It's 18-11 as CNU extends their lead. Here's Close, who continues to man the service area. Meanwhile, it's Eileen Shi getting back as she'll strike back with a beautiful soft touch over the net right out in front of the diving libero Rachel Close. And it's 18-12 as she will take her talents back to serve. Number 11 in black with the overhand serve as this one's dug out there by McIntyre. Sutton with a powerful spike, and that's what she does best. She leads the team in kills, and there's a reason why. She extends the lead to 19-12 as Haley Sutton delivers. And the opportunity now for service from number 1, Rachel Conway. The Fairfax native errors on that one. Did not get enough mustard on the underhand serve, and the Beacons will see a point credited to them, 19-13. And now Elizabeth Glavin, our player to watch on the pregame show, will set up to serve. Gets this one over, dug out by McIntyre. Good play by Fisher. She looked like she read that one from the get-go. Storming towards the far right side of the court. Unfortunately, it's a storm of spikes from Eileen Shi as she delivers point number 14 for UMass Boston, and the kills continue for the Beacons freshman from San Francisco, California. 19-14, UMass Boston trails here in set number 3. Good dig by McIntyre, as keeping this one alive there was Fisher, and unfortunately for CNU, she couldn't keep it in bounds, as the Beacons will get credit on that one, 19-16 now. Glavin with the serve as this one's dug out. Good play by Sutton, and she'll come right back to spike, partially blocked by Julia Murphy. Baker sets up Murphy, around the horn she goes. Beautiful play by Julia. Unfortunately, a good dig there by Conway results in a point off an especially good play by Eliza Fisher. So Maddie Wickens re-enters, and she'll immediately get a chance to serve. It's 20-15, Beacons trailing here in set 3. This one is sent out of bounds by UMass Boston, and their hopes of taking set 3 quickly erode. It's 21-15 now, as that one came out of bounds off the right arm of Pepper Baker. Wickens service, dug out by Shi. Set up for Baker for Murphy. Unfortunately, dug out by Close. Close for Fisher. Fisher's blocked, and a great play by the dynamic duo of Murphy and Cohen as they deliver above the net. 2 trees out front for Terry Condon as Cohen will take a much-deserved rest. It's 21-16. Her replacement out there, Rachel Maslach, will step into the service area for an opportunity. She serves this one for Close. Close off the dig, set up for Conway, and a dig attempt from Fisher is unsuccessful as it's sent back by Murphy on a good block. It's 21-17. So the Beacons continuing to show their endurance as they play well deeper into sets, as Maslach with another service opportunity just over the net. Helped out a little bit as McIntyre to get down on her knees to save that one. Meanwhile, off the spike from Fisher, it's Pepper Baker sending it back from whence it came, and neither Fisher nor number 15, Ashley Rock, could get that one. Beacons have scored 3 consecutive times. It's 21-18, UMass Boston. Keep Maslach in there. She's getting it done as she serves this one, dug out by Close. Chance for Miller, and that one is sent back for Sutton. Sutton gets it to McIntyre, dug out. Got a good play by Shi. Shi for Baker. Baker gets it over the net, and almost a point for UMass Boston, but Close with a little help from her friends, Ashley Rock and Abby McIntyre, keep it alive momentarily, but the freshman from Canton, Michigan. Haley Diedrich delivers on the spike. 4 consecutive for UMass Boston. And number 5, Rachel Maslach, will continue to serve her 5th consecutive serve in set 3. Rachel sends it over for Close, who digs it out. Chance for McIntyre. This one sent and kept alive by Maslach for She. Glavin had to get that one over as Rock sends it back towards Fisher. Fisher, good spike, but dug out by She. That was Maslach, good spike for Baker. Keeping it alive on a solid volley for both sides. There's McIntyre. She for Maslach, spike attempt out of bounds. Pepper Baker just could not control that one, but a great play nonetheless from the Beacons to keep that one alive momentarily. It's 22-19 here in set 3 as UMass Boston trails in a tie match, 1-1. Ooh, unfortunately the Beacons got a little crossed up there. Julia Murphy couldn't touch it again as she just did, and Pepper Baker didn't have enough time to get underneath to send that one over the net. It's now 23-19 as Terry Condon either shouts some words of encouragement or strategy towards her team, who trail by 4 here in set 3. There's a spike attempt and a good one. It's a good play there by Hannah Miller off the set, and play by number 14, Abby McIntyre. It's 24-19 and a set point here for CNU as they look to take a 2-1 lead. Stay tuned after set number 3. We'll go right to highlights as that one hits the antenna. How about that? It hits the antenna. The Beacons get credit for that one on a tough error by Ashley Rock, who leads this team in aces. She's all smiles because they're up by 4, and that one was a bit humorous, hitting the antenna above the net. Nonetheless, here's Elliott with an opportunity as Christina with the service, dug out there by McIntyre, set up for Conway. Conway looking for help in the form of Hannah Miller, but she sends that one out of bounds. And the Beacons, who trailed 24-23 last time and 23-21 last set, will look to make the comeback magic rekindle itself. They trail 24-21. It maintains set point as this spike attempt by McIntyre is successful to end it. As 25-21 is your final score here in set 3. Beacons lost set 1, 25-20. They won set 2, 28-26, and they lose here in set 3 by the final of 25-21. So we head into set 4 with CNU having an opportunity to win this match, leading 2-1. It'll be an elongated 3-minute break here in the intermission between sets 3 and 4. And so we will head to highlights of an exciting set number 3 right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Opportunity for the team's leader in kills, Brianna Sutton, but the Beacons dig it out. That was Diedrich. Diedrich back towards the near end. That's the CNU captains as McCann will send that one towards Glavin. Baker to Glavin to She. That one's in. Being such an inexperienced team, although their youth has certainly excelled. Speaking of excellence, how about Diedrich with a powerful spike, dug out by Close. Opportunity for McIntyre the other way as the Beacons see volleying coming back towards Close. Close to Conway, set up for a spike from Fisher. Now Ashley Rock, the team's leader in aces, will send this one. Unfortunately for them, nothing there. Pepper Baker with a good spike attempt, dug out there. Rock got that one to McIntyre, and UMass Boston serves to the far side, dug out by Glavin. Glavin sees Diedrich, send it back for Murphy. Unfortunate for Murphy. Then the volley continues, kept alive for a spike attempt. Native serves it to the far end for Diedrich, kept alive and sent to the near end where Close will take Rock's spike and send it for a powerful blast from Glavin with the serve as this one's dug out. Good play by Sutton, and she'll come right back to spike, partially blocked by Julia Murphy. Baker sets up Murphy, around the horn she goes. Beautiful play by Julia. Unfortunately, a good dig there by Conway was a good play by She. She for Baker. Baker gets it over the net, and almost a point for UMass Boston, but Close with a little help from her friends Ashley Rock and Abby McIntyre keep it alive momentarily, but the 21, it maintains set point as this spike attempt by McIntyre. Welcome back into the broadcast booth as we reconvene live for set number 4 between the Beacons and the captains. UMass Boston hosting the CNU captains. Coming on up here from Newport News, Virginia, and they haven't been disappointed. They won the opening game of this Beacon Invitational, 5 sets over St. Benedict. Unfortunately for UMass Boston, they trailed 2-1. You see the final of that third set 25-21. Beacons won the second set 28-26 and lost the opener 25-20. So it's all been relatively close. UMass Boston playing very well with a lot of spirit out there. Looks like they'll start out set number 4 here with the usual suspects. Glavin out there with Pepper Baker. They're joined by Haley Diedrich, Eileen Shee, Colleen Cohen, and Bree Souza. Meanwhile, service will go to the visitors as CNU's Abby McIntyre sends it towards Glavin, and an inauspicious start for UMass Boston as Elizabeth was handcuffed. It's 1-0 CNU. So right back to McIntyre it comes. UMass Boston, and now as they'll wait for Rachel Close to do some maintenance work, cleaning up some sweat out there. McIntyre, known as being a jack of all trades, much like Elizabeth Glavin. Tremendous defensive player, tremendous hitter towards the net, as well as solid in the service area. Not on that one, as there's an error on 14 in blue. Beacons even this one up at 1, and Eileen Shee will get her first chance in set 4 to serve this one back towards the captains. Before we continue, we have to remind you, you are watching the Beacons Broadcasting Network as UMass Boston and the captains of CNU duel, and that was a very good effort there by Brianna Sutton. The team leader in kills makes it 2-1. Captains here in set number 4 as Rachel Close will step into the service area. Rachel, an overhand serve dug out by Glavin. Pepper Baker keeps it alive, and that one's Cohen spiking it down. Kept up there by McIntyre. Here's an opportunity for Sutton. Instead, the Beacons get it to Baker. Glavin back towards Diedrich. Diedrich dumps it in on a spike attempt. Dug out there by McIntyre, and the Beacons will get credit for the point on this one, evening this one up at 2-2 in set 4. Julia Murphy re-enters as she will spell Bree Souza, getting a little more offense out there for Souza's defensive prowess. Glavin, speaking of defensive prowess, will serve this one up. McIntyre digs it out. Opportunity and a good one there by Rachel Conway, number 1 in blue, as she serves this one over the net for a point. It's 3-2 CNU. From the net to the service area, Rachel Conway as she sends this one. Glavin digs it out. Pepper Baker sets up. Murphy's powerful spike dug out there by Conway. McIntyre sends it over. Kept alive by Baker. It's dug out by Conway. Close. Sets up. They've got to send it over. It was Fisher. Fisher sees her spike attempt dug out by Shee. Murphy punches this one in. A good effort there by Conway is all for naught as the Beacons get the point on the board and have re-evened this one up at 3-3. Good effort by Murphy. A fantastic defensive player, but even better offensively in front of the net. Terry Condon couldn't do without her this year, as well as Bree Souza, 2 great defensive players. A great ace in the service corner there by Maslak as she sends this one to the far end. Pepper Baker, unfortunately, a little too much mustard on that one as it sails out of bounds, and it will be 4-3 CNU when we reconvene, and we'll get our first opportunity to see Samantha Weiner enter the game. One of 2 California natives along with Eileen Shee. Weiner, a freshman, standing at 5'11" from Pasadena, California. This one dug out by Shee on the serve there by Wickens. This one is sent back towards Maddie. Set up for a spike attempt and a good block right into the game. It's Samantha Weiner blocking that one and getting credit for a Beacons point. I tell you what, Samantha might not realize it now, but she's going to be in for a rude awakening coming from Pasadena, California to Boston, Massachusetts once November and December roll around. She and Eileen Shee, I think, will be bundled up on their ways to class and to practice, because if last winter was any sign, it is going to be a rude awakening for the California natives, especially the Southern California native from Pasadena, as that one is an error on the Beacons' Christina Elliott, as retaking the lead is CNU, 5-4. Service here will come from Ashley Rock, leads the team in aces. Not much today for number 15 in blue. Most of this CNU team hails from the Old Dominion State. A couple of athletes from New York as well, as Maslak keeps this one alive. She's got to send it over, and she does. Meanwhile, UMass Boston sees McIntyre send it back as a good spike from Murphy by way of Maslak is sent back by Fisher. Fisher dug that one out. Chance for McIntyre. Weiner keeps it alive to Murphy. That one's got to get over the net, and a good job there by number 7, Haley Diedrich. Great volley both ways. She keeps it alive. Maslak, and this one is Weiner, who's come in and delivered a couple of great efforts, getting 2 on the board for UMass Boston. The freshman from Pasadena evens this one up at 5-5 in set 4. So I like what I've seen so far from the 5'11" freshman from Pasadena, California. She's come in fresh but also raw, having not played the entire match through the first 3 sets, but she has come through with a vengeance through a couple of series here. And Eileen Shee delivers with a vengeance with a hard right-handed spike just in front of the out-of-bounds line, and UMass Boston retakes the lead 6-5. Julia Murphy will look to keep the momentum going as the Beacons look to send this one to an all-determining 5th set. Off Murphy's service, this one is spiked down on a great play by Hannah Miller by way of Fisher and Wickens, as Miller gets credit for the kill there. It's 6-6. And Fisher will head back to serve this one, number 19 in blue. Eliza overhand left-handed service as this one's dug out by Diedrich. Gets it to Weiner. Weiner for She's got to get it over. She does. Keeping it alive was Conway. Dug out there by Diedrich on the spike attempt by number 10, Hannah Miller. Unfortunately, Weiner unable to get there in time on the right side of the the volleyball court. It's 7-6 now, CNU back out in front. Fisher getting set for her second straight service, left-handed service as she goes overhand yet again. Just barely gets it over, handcuffed Weiner as Glavin keeps it alive, sends it back towards the far end. Conway keeps it up, and a set attempt for Miller is unsuccessful, dug out by Glavin. Beacons unable to block that one. Souza went up top, but Conway with a surprise attack to the far side to the right of the court. Weiner couldn't get down in time. It's 8-6 CNU. Christopher Newport service from Eliza Fisher, and an error there by 19 in blue. Beacons back on the board. It's 8-7 as we'll get a couple of substitutions. Colleen Cohen and Pepper Baker will re-enter the game. Sitting down here are Rachel Maslak and the freshman Samantha Weiner, who made a nice debut this afternoon. Pepper Baker will head back to serve. No one else you'd rather have down by 1 in a critical set. Dug out by Wickens. Conway sets it up. Chance for Miller, and what a blast from Hannah Miller as she sends this one towards the near end stripe and gets the 9th score of the set for the visitors from Newport News. So off the service here from McIntyre, dug out by Glavin, set up for Cohen, sent back on a block. Glavin keeps it alive. Here's an opportunity for Miller. That one out of bounds on the spike, and the Beacons are back on the board. It's 9-8. I think CNU thinks they scored. They have the ball in their service area and are discussing things with the officials. The scoreboard operator thinks it was the Beacons. I thought it was the Beacons. I'm not sure how it couldn't have been the Beacons, and now the meeting of the apostles will result in a little bit of justice for the scoreboard operator and myself, as the Beacons will get credit for the kill there. It is 9-8. UMass Boston serving. Here's Eileen Shee. Service dug out by McIntyre, set up for a spike from Sutton, and a good effort by UMass Boston on the block, but unfortunately out of bounds. On the play made by Diedrich, and it's 10-8. CNU, a service heads back towards whence it came on the far end of the court. Rachel Close with service, dug out by Shee. Glavin sets, looks for an opportunity for Diedrich. Got to get it over. She does. It's McIntyre keeping it alive. Good block from Souza. Souza and Cohen out in front. The trees amidst the teammates out there in black. Meanwhile, it's Conway towards the near end, and great effort by the visitors as Sutton continues to deliver. It's 11-8 CNU. Close yet again. Looks to make it deja vu all over again as it's dug out by Glavin. Good job by Souza just to get a piece of that one off the edge of her hand and able to keep it alive for the Beacons as Diedrich and Baker deliver out in front. It's 11-9. Beacons getting closer as they continue to play a very spirited match here against a team that came in 6-0 with experience abound. The Beacons have just three upperclassmen, just one senior, as this one is off the outstretched fingertips of Pepper Baker. Credit the kill there to Ashley Rock as it extends CNU's lead to 12-9. We'll have a timeout on the court here as timeout UMass Boston, who trail 12-9 here in set 4. They trail 2-1 in sets here in the match that opens the Beacons Invitational for UMass Boston. Stay tuned tomorrow, a very exciting matchup as these UMass Boston Beacons get set to take on Eastern University as well as St. Benedict's. Game reset here, I should say match reset here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. UMass Boston trails 2-1 in sets. They lost the opener 25-20. They came back and really got revenge in set 2 after falling behind early to win 28-26. And then lost 25-21 in set 3. They trailed 12-9 in set 4, and an ace of aces right there for Rachel Conway, as that one was absolutely beautiful. The Clayton Kershaw of aces. Conway will look to make it 2 for the price of 1, and she does, as that one is off the hands of Eileen Shee, and it's now 14-9, just like that. So the timeout didn't help for Mike Houlihan and the Beacons, as Beacons will get some reserves out there, at least one, as Emily Steinberg, the native of Moore Park, California, will head on out. I missed Emily when I was mentioning the California natives. She enters the game, number 13 in black. Shortest player out there right now for Terry Condon's club, as that one is out of bounds. I thought Houlihan did as well, but the officials disagree, as that one is in for a point for the visiting CNU Captains. It should be 15-9. The scoreboard operator has it 14-10. Well, now they're saying that it's the Beacons' ball, so I guess they did give it to UMass Boston. The official on the near end signaled point. That's what the flag pointing down means. But you know what? We said it at the beginning of the broadcast. It's like spring training for all of us. The athletes, the Beacons are 1-4. We know they're a good team. They're just getting their feet wet on 2015. We had a few issues at the beginning of the broadcast that'll get ironed out for tomorrow. No doubt about it. And the officials as well. It's been a long summer. It's hot in here, it's hot out there, and the Beacons hope to turn it into a hot campaign. It's 15-11 now, as that one is out of bounds off CNU. UMass Boston will retain possession and service. Heading back into the game is a service specialist, Christina Elliott. It's 15-11 according to the scoreboard. Although at this point, who really knows? Might have a timeout on the court, and we do. Timeout on the court for UMass Boston and CNU. It's been an exciting match through 3.5 sets. Beacons trail 15-11 here in set 4 after splitting the first 2 and losing set 3. UMass Boston will hope to continue their success throughout the course of every athletics campaign. Of course, we all know the success that the hockey teams have had over the course of the past few years. The soccer teams, the volleyball teams, the basketball team last year on the men's side was outstanding. Women's side, of course, made the playoffs as well. You can't really find fault in too many athletic teams. Baseball team had some great games last year. I was privileged enough to broadcast a lot of them. As Christina Elliott and the Beacons are back out there. Too bad their opponents are not, still meeting in a huddle on the far side. That gives us a chance to let you know that this game is being broadcast on the Beacons Broadcasting Network, along with my director, Carl Poss, and his merry men. I am John Skudris, bringing you all the action this evening and tomorrow for a doubleheader on the BBN. First game at noon, second match at 6. Beacons have Elliott out there to serve. She's joined by Rachel Maslak, Elizabeth Glavin, Samantha Weiner, Eileen Shee, and Julia Murphy. There's a spike, and Murphy with a great block as this one's sent back towards Wickens. However, it's kept alive on a good play by Conway. Glavin will look to set up Eileen Shee, and it's out of bounds off Shee. Unfortunately, the team's leader in kills couldn't add to her total there, as credit will go to CNU. It is now 16-11. Service here as sending this one is Rock towards the Beacons. Dug out there by number 7 Haley Dietrich. Looking at the far end there as the umpire does signal UMass Boston point. I was looking at the far end there because on the bench for CNU, they have a lot of managers and a lot of assistant coaches. 3 team managers to be exact for CNU who make the trip. Meanwhile, Wickens sends this one, and that might be 2 points through the basket. Instead, it hits the rim and out of the curled-up basketball hoop. Unfortunately for UMass Boston, CNU turns it into a point in volleyball as this one hits the near side stripe. It's 17-12 on a fantastic play by Conway. It's 17-12 here in set 4 as service from Fisher comes towards Diedrich. Diedrich sets up Maslak. Here's a spike from Eileen Shee, and UMass Boston will get back on the board. It's 17-13 here in set 4. Give credit for a kill to Eileen Shee, extends her team leading total. Taking a seat will be Sam Weiner as she will be replaced by Pepper Baker for this service. Pepper dribbling that one as she gets set for her first service after rejoining the affair. It comes over for an opportunity for Miller, dug out there on the near end. Panic and chaos on the Beacons end, and that'll go 4 touches for UMass Boston, too many, and it'll go credit to CNU. It is 17-13, CNU out in front. Excuse me, 18-13, the scoreboard operator delayed down there. We're only following what they say as this drive by Maslak is successful as it comes out of bounds off the dig attempt from Sutton. It's 18-14. Meanwhile, Eileen Shee, who has continued to play well and open some eyes here in her freshman campaign, will get a chance on the service. Conway keeps the set alive as she sets it up for Sutton. Beacons on a nice fake out by UMass Boston's Bree Souza and Pepper Baker. Pepper looked like she was just setting Souza up for a spike. Instead, she was setting herself up for herself as she gets credit for the kill there. It's 18-15 UMass Boston. Here's Shee's second straight service as this one's dug out there by McIntyre. Conway to the near side. Sutton blasts it, but Glavin is game to deny on a dig attempt by Elizabeth, the native of Minnesota. Meanwhile, it's dug out by Baker for Glavin. Here's the third touch attempt, and just out of bounds off the spike from number 11, Eileen Shee, and it's 19-15. So we're getting closer to that critical game point. Beacons trailing 19-15 here in set 4, trailing 2-1 in sets here in the match. Of course, they play best of 5 as the Beacons try to get back in this set, trailing by 4. Great spike attempt, and the block attempt there by the duo of Diedrich and Souza is unsuccessful. It's 20-15, and Terry Condon wants a timeout. We are almost through this one. The Beacons trailing 20-15. They'll try to make a last-ditch effort to come back and perhaps find some last chance for romance here in the 4th set. They trail 20-15 right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Of course, you'll catch all the Beacons action all season long. Our very, very excellent coverage of both men's and women's hockey, men's and women's soccer, volleyball, men's and women's basketball. Whatever your favorite sport is, you can find it right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. I want to, of course, thank Dave Wahlberg, as always, Sports Information Director, who continues to give us better equipment by the year and set us up to succeed or fail on our own. Also want to thank Seth Orensky, who's out there in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, Washington right now with the men's soccer team. After how much it's rained over the last couple of days, I kind of hope it's raining up there too, but it wouldn't be a surprise. She will keep this one alive off the service from close. Good play by Maslak to send it to the far end into CNU territory, and the block attempt by Diedrich. She's just not tall enough to get above the trees like a Souza or a Murphy can, and it results in a kill for McIntyre and the captains. It's 21-15 as they inch closer to winning this one here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Here's Souza. Ooh, that one came right off the front of the net, and that one's an unfortunate break. Bad break, I should say, for UMass Boston as Souza's spike attempt just clips the top of the netting. It's now 22-15. Close on the service, dug out by Diedrich. Here's Pepper Baker setting up Souza, and deja vu all over again. Souza can't get that one over the net. Wonder if her legs are getting a bit tired here as it's now 23-15. Beacons trailing, getting close to game point. Served up and over, dug out smartly by Glavin. Set up for Diedrich. Great play by the young freshman from Michigan. Unfortunately for UMass Boston at first glance, it was not for good, but unfortunately for CNU, it's Souza delivering. Third time's the charm after she struggled on her last two spikes. This block delivers. It's 23-16. Glavin looks to keep the Beacons alive, trailing 23-16, down 2-1 in sets here in set number 4. Block attempt by the Beacons. Murphy kept it alive for Glavin. Spike from She, and she cannot get that one down as it is now match point. An opportunity to win this one for the visitors from Christopher Newport and improve to 7-0 on the season heading into their matchup tomorrow against Eastern University. Getting the effort here is Conway, and she wins it on an ace! What a way to win it for CNU! An ace from Rachel Conway, and the captains of Newport News, Virginia have delivered. They improve to 7-0 on this young 2015 campaign. They win this one 3-1, capturing set number 4 by a final score of 25-16. So it was a great effort all the way around for both clubs. UMass Boston especially, the heavy underdogs coming in at 1-4 with a plethora of young talent and freshmen. They came in with their eyes wide looking for the upset. Unfortunately, they do fall in 4 sets. And really, they look forward to tomorrow for a chance to redeem themselves against a couple of teams that might be more of their level at this point in Eastern in St. Benedict's. We're going to have highlights here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network as we wrap up what has been an exciting afternoon of volleyball action, both this match as well as the other matches, as Eastern and St. Benedict's play on the far end of the court. Let's get a look at all the action that occurred between the Beacons and the captains. As well as Bree Souza, two great defensive players. A great ace in the service corner there by Maslak as she sends this one to the far end. Pepper Baker, unfortunately, sees McIntyre send it back as a good spike from Murphy by way of Maslak is sent back by Fisher. Fisher dug that one out. Chance for McIntyre. Weiner keeps it alive to Murphy. That one's got to get over the net, and a good job there by number 7, Haley Diedrich. Great volley both ways. She keeps it alive. Maslak, and this one is Weiner, who's head back to serve. No one else you'd rather have down by 1 in a critical set. Dug out by Wickens. Conway sets it up. Transfer Miller, and McIntyre keeping it alive. Good block from Souza. Souza and Cohen out in front. The trees amidst the teammates out there in black. Meanwhile, it's Conway towards the near end, and great. Meanwhile, Wickens sends this one, and that might be 2 points through the basket. Instead, it hits the rim and out of the curled-up basketball hoops on the service. Conway keeps the set alive as she sets it up for Sutton. Beacons on a nice fake, trailing 2-1 in sets here in the match. Of course, they play best of 5 as the Beacons try to get back in this set, trailing by 4. Great spike attempt. Served up and over, dug out smartly by Glavin. Set up for Diedrich. Great play by the young freshman from Michigan. Unfortunately for UMass, the effort here is Conway, and she wins it on an ace. What a way to win it for CNU. Welcome back into the broadcast booth. Postgame show here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. A tough defeat for UMass Boston. They fall 3-1 to the now 7-0 captains of Christopher Newport University. Meanwhile, the Beacons fall to 1-5 on the young campaign. This was their home opener here in the Beacons Invitational, and they go to 0-1 on Beaconville. But brighter days are ahead, and it may begin tomorrow. We have a doubleheader on the Beacons Broadcasting Network as the UMass Boston Beacons women's volleyball team will look to get their first home win of the season and their second win overall of the season as the doubleheader opens up at 12 noon. They'll take on Eastern University and St. Benedict's University, schools hailing from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania as well as the Midwest in Minnesota. It should be an exciting day of volleyball, and we hope you join us right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Well, we're wrapping things up from high atop Clark Athletic Center Gym. Want to thank you for tuning in, as always, to the Beacons Broadcasting Network. Beacons losing the fourth set 25-16, and the match 3-1 to CNU. Until next time, for Carl Poss, our director, as well as everyone else involved, I want to thank you for joining us. Good night, good luck, and good volleyball. My name's John Skudris, and I'll see you tomorrow right here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network.